Today, we're going to look at using Azure Search in two different regions to eliminate geo disaster. Today, Azure Search provides you 99.9% availability in a single data center. We're going to use Event Hub to send the data to two regions and update the index in both. So out of the box, Azure Search gives you 99.9% availability if you configure multiple replicas in a data center. And this is the code from the Azure website. Who is this video for? If you need geo disaster recovery with near real-time replication. If you only need to update your search index every 5 minutes or more, you can use the built-in feature of Azure Search to automatically update from a storage. So, you need geo disaster recovery with near real-time replication. Let's look at a possible solution. A possible solution is to use Event Hub. The other one might be using a service bus. But here, Event Hub can be geo-paired with Event Hub in another region. So one acts as the primary and the other one is secondary. The producer sends data to the Event Hub. Web job in each region consumes the events and updates their respective Azure search index. The required services. We will need the following services in both regions. You need to have Azure Search Index. We need a key vault because Azure Search does not have managed identity support at this point for you to update data in it. So we have to go through a secret, and that secret will be stored in key vault. Azure Web App will host the web job that's going to listen on the Event Hub and update the search index. We need managed identity so that the web job can connect to the key vault to get the secret and connect to the Event Hub to read the data. We need Event Hub that is geo-paired with both the regions. And we need storage account in each region. When the web jobs read from the Event Hub, it has to checkpoint where its position is in the Event Hub, and that information is stored in the storage account. I have the details with pictures in the deployment document in this link. So I have set up two groups, one in West US2 and East US2. And here are all the services that I described earlier that we need. We have the Event Hub, and the Event Hub is geo-paired with East US. So here are the two Event Hubs in two different data centers, and the alias is Weather Event Hub. And here are the primary and secondary. So once you set up this pairing, it's then you go and create the Event Hub that you need in the Event Hub namespace. So once I did the pairing, then I created this a city temperature Event Hub, and it gets automatically replicated and created on the secondary node. I have two consumer groups, one for each region. So East US2 web job will listen to this specific consumer group, and the West US web job will listen to this specific consumer group. I use local tests for my local testing. The local dev environment can connect using my identity to this particular index, and I can test my code. Next thing we have is the key vault. Key vault is used to store the secret, and there's just one secret, which is the key to this particular search index. The other thing is you have to associate the managed identity so that it has permission to read this thing. And that's the manage identity, which is going to be used by the web job to connect to the event hub to read the data, and to the storage account to write the checkpoints, and to the key vault to get the secret to write to the search index. That's the storage account. As and when the code reads from the event hub, it has to write a checkpoint. So every minute it checkpoints its current location here, and that information comes from that information goes into this particular storage account. Within the Azure web app, there are a few settings that are required. So Azure Client ID, this is the client ID of the managed identity. And then you have the region setting. This setting is used by the web job to figure out which consumer group to connect to. This is the shared alias to the event hub. This is the region specific storage. So each region will write its checkpoint to its specific storage account. Then we have the key vault. And then this is the search index on this region. Additionally, you have to go to identity, and in user assigned, you got to connect the managed identity for the web job to be able to use it. Once those things are done, you can come to web job and you add the web job by clicking add, and you upload the zip file from my demo over here and just mark it as continuous and run it. So I have already done that. So here's the web job and it's running. Okay, so now that I have the web job running in both regions, and you can see this both the regions, it's there, and both the regions have all these services. So here's the search index. There's a search index on the West US. Here's the search index on the East US.
So let's look at the demo of running a console application that publishes temperature to the event hub. And we should see both the indexes and both the regions getting updated. So I have the web job running in both the regions. Both Western US is up and running. And here's our event hub paired and ready to go. If we look at the code here, it's connecting to the alias, not to the specific region. This is the alias that we have set up. So both the publisher and subscribers are listening to the alias event namespace, and then it connects to the event hub. So this specific code just loops through and sets the temperature and increments the temperature by 0.5. There is no unit for this temperature, so all the temperatures are in human comfort range. So we can see the code running, and it has connected to the shed, to that alias. And when I press enter, it's going to send 2.5 to the search index. So if I come back here, search index, let's take a look at the values. All right, so it's 2, and it's also 2 on this index. Okay, so let's just run it. So set to 2.5, and we have set up over 300 cities. So you can see it's 2.5 here, and if I come here, it's 2.5. Let's do it again. 3, search. It's 3. It's 3. Let's do it again. 3.5. 3.5. So you can see here is a solution which is almost giving you near real-time replication to both the indexes, but it's kind of like immediate. That was, and it's one possible solution. Now, if the data center were to completely go down, you have to failover the event hub. And this is not same as like SQL Server failover. It actually breaks the pair. So if I click failover, it'll see it actually removes the primary namespace from this event hub. And then you're just working with secondary. So when that region does come back, you will have to repair with it. So that brings us to the end of the demo. So hopefully this is useful to people who want to do real-time replication of the Azure Search Index to multiple regions. Right? I just showed two, but you could do this to N regions. Thank you. Bye.